YouTube. Yeah, so put some light on the situation. I actually bought like a proper pro light thing, which I can now have light. It's actually really bright, kind of hurt my eyes a little bit. Yeah, so today I've kind of run out of time. I was building the Roadster base. The couple of pals went for a wee walk. So this is the Aria Pro 2. You can see my super circular light there in the reflection. Yeah, so this is quite beat up, let's be honest here. I bought this because I've got the matching base. I've got a base called a PE600, which I will have to do a video of both of them together. So this is 1978. The serial numbers in these don't run quite the way you would think. I can't remember what the 0 stands for, but the 8's for 78 in this one. It's not 80 though, which is what I thought because I didn't make these in 1980. So what we have is Mr. Atlancia H. Noble, which I was talking about this the other day, to be designed and improved by H. Noble. Thing on the headstock there, you can actually read it. Now I've got a light on it. I mean, it's a wee bit beat up. This has also got the Batwing headstock, which are desirable if you're looking at Aria Pros. Only the very oldest and excellentest ones have that. There's normally, I don't have another Aria Pro sitting about, so it's not normally quite this the same shape at the top. So this was H. Noble, who's a designer at Matsumoku, his attempt at the ultimate guitar, I suppose. So you're kind of looking a little bit, I suppose, kind of like a PRS a wee bit. The reason I've got a Douglas out is because I was doing that Chapman guitar the other day, which is kind of the same, similar sort of idea, where it's somewhere between a Les Paul and a Strat, best of both worlds type thing. And this one doesn't actually have coil splits on it, which I could obviously fit myself if I really wanted to. So we've got a 25.5 inch scale, a crazy looking bridge called it says on the an H Noble bridge on the back. Not the best design because it doesn't want to sit level, it sits at an angle like that, which kind of annoys me. It's meant to sit level. I think maybe the wood behind it's been pulled up or something. Maybe have a wee go at doweling it and filling it at some point. Works 100% though. Yeah, so as you can see, this is a carved top. This is actually I noticed, well, look, this is, someone has at some point put a jack socket on the edge and then filled it in. This was so scratched when I got it. That's why it was cheap. That's why I could afford it. So this is the PE range. This is the cheapest of the PE range. This is, they're called, if you look them up, they're called the Prototype series, even though they're not really prototypes, but they did. They went on to make lots and lots of PEs. So there was like the main one was called the Masterpiece, and it was I always remember the original advert. I couldn't find it when I looked it up there, but it was something like if talking about Stradivarius, and it's like it was the Stradivarius of guitars. Like high claims indeed. But yeah, so the 1500 is a little bit more advanced than this, but not. It's still got most of the features of the 1500. The 1500 is the one you see with Andy Summers. Andy Summers from The Police plays one. He's got one in the back of one of the album covers, kind of doing that. It looks the same as this. And things like that. So, made in Japan, 1978. Strat scale, Gibson-y sort of shaped body. This is a Sycamore body, which I'd never really seen. You don't seem to get Sycamore guitars. It's not one of the known tone woods, but it's a lovely carved top on it. Be hand carved as well. This will be a handmade guitar. All this era they all wear. It's got these see the sort of recesses behind the knobs. These aren't the original knobs. The original knobs look amazing, but they're definitely the sort of things you would just lose. Somebody must 3D print them though. Well, maybe have a wee ask about it, see if anyone's 3D printing them. I don't mind paying like a, you know, well, I'm not gonna go. Would I pay a tenner each for them? Pay a tenner for two, no problem. You know, these ones look quite good anyway. Yeah, so these are Protomatic, Goto Protomatic pickups. Protomatic 4, I think they're called. It's got the crazy original before Goto tuners, so they don't have to tighten them up. You don't screw the button in the end. There's got like a wee collar on it. You can see there's a wee collar with a hole on it there to tighten them up. Just trying to make the best tuners I could. It's got a bullet truss rod that sticks out a mile as well. So, you know, adjusting the truss rod, this is great because you can totally see exactly which Allen key and whether it's the exact right one, rather than, you know, kind of like down in a hole, and you're kind of poking away at it, trying to pull all the fluff out, seeing, what, is this Allen key actually fitting, or am I just chewing it up? This one you can actually see. So bullet truss rods are the best of all the truss rods. It's got a crazy neck join on it. Remember, this is 78, so this is quite, so it's like a sort of, the neck comes in here somewhere, and it's a sort of set neck of some description with a super high access thing up here, so you can get up here really good. Nice weight to it as well. Quite a lightweight guitar, I'd probably say. And colour wise, I'm just looking up there. It's got all of the PE600s on this. It's all in Japanese, so I can't read it. It appears to be a sort of natural. No, that's the 800. So there's the 600, which is this one with the sycamore body. The 800 is the same but with binding. And the 1000 and the 1500, so there's 4 in the range, are both the same guitar, apart from the 1500's got DiMarzio pickups, and the 1000 has Goto. It might even be these pickups, Protomatic-y type things. And I think they are neck through, I think. Later on, these things changed about. There's a PER80 that you often see from just a couple of years later. So they did continue making this, and I think to this day, you can still buy Aria PEs. But they've got like more a tunematic bridge, and they're not quite as far out as way out there. One of the things I didn't like about this guitar was the volume control was really stiff, and it was like, it didn't crackle or anything, but I just tried filling it with switch cleaner, and it made it not stiff anymore. It's like, yeah, so now nice and easy to use volume control. Just playing through my wee Carlton. On the clean channel, bit of reverb. And these are Elixir strings, which are probably 3 years old. But a very expensive feeling guitar. There's a guitar called a Westbury Standard, which I thought looked very similar to this, but actually when you play it's not really that similar. It's got its own thing. It's got the 3-piece neck on it, like and a big volute here, so this ain't breaking. I mean, that's not the original back cover. It was actually a sort of very light wood, and I coloured it in with a brown pen the other day. So I might have a wee go at staining it so it's a bit more fitting in. But yeah, so. But it feels old. Bridge. Put the drums on. You put the drums on first. Maybe a bit of rock first. So drive channel on the amp. the G. And the B. So I don't even remember when I got this, to be honest. Obviously after, this is before I went mad for the Japanese guitars. I didn't pay very much for it because it was in such poor condition. I mean, I spent so long polishing that to make that shiny. But have you ever come across these things? I've always saying that I don't like Les Pauls. I don't have one. Actually, I don't really call this a Les Paul, although it is sort of Les Paul shaped. It's definitely a much more useful guitar, a much more ergonomic guitar. Doesn't weigh tons. It's thinner. The Les Paul. It's actually even got a chamfer on the back here, like that. So it's kind of a strato Les Paul-y type thing. I think, to be honest, I probably would put coil splits in it. I'd like to take it into the studio to see what these pickups sound like. I bet you they're amazing. It's the same age as me. I think this one has a bit of historical significance to it, as in this is the first Aria, I think, or if not the first one of the, if not the very first one of the very early Aria own design, rather than being, you know, just a copy of a Les Paul or a Strat or whatever they were doing. I think the Ibanez were maybe the first of the Japanese companies to try and build their own shapes. The Artist was kind of a little bit before this, I think, and then you got this, and then you got your Washburn Falcon, and what the other big guitar companies? Westtone weren't about yet, but the Thunder, kind of, you know, that's sort of someone's take on making an improvement on the current guitars, the standard guitars everyone had, you know, your Strats and Tellys and Les Pauls. Try to do something a bit different, but not too different. So, I mean, historically, I think this is a very interesting guitar, especially since they still make them. They actually, even my pal Wayne's actually an Aria dealer, and they still make the 1000, the most expensive one, and they're $5,000. You know, still made in Japan and stuff like that. But that's kind of, I don't think these were cheap guitars. Well, this one maybe, but the 1500 I think it might have even been more expensive than like a Les Paul, because it's a better guitar. It's like, you know, better built, better parts, so not worth as much money though. But definitely, if you're looking at Arias, and if you see one of these, especially if it's got not just an Aria Pro, the Aria Pro 2, they are expensive and super high quality. So this one isn't in my top 10 best guitars just now because I've not really played it enough. There was something wrong with it. I can't really think what it was. There can't have just been the stiff volume control of why I've never really played it. Or I think it might be one of those guitars that I bought at the wrong time. So maybe I bought this and then something else appeared 2 days later, sort of thing. So this was never really my, you know, when you buy a new guitar and it's like it's your new guitar for a few months. I don't think it ever happened with this, which is one of the problems with it, I think. I might have even had this longer than my Falcon. little pick up a bit low. But so this guitar's getting left out and I'm going to use it for things a bit more. It's awfully good. It's a bit dirty though. I can kind of feel the back of the neck being not particularly smooth. Just a bit sticky. I think this has been sitting not in a case for a long time. This is a bit. And actually the more I play it, whether it's me getting used to it or more it's just like the strings are kind of coming back to life again. It's really controllable. But thoroughly pro level, hence the, I suppose, the original designation of Aria Pro. It's like pure, yes, it's an Aria, but it's a pro instrument. It is, again, going to guitar or whatever with, I don't know, £1,000. Get a guitar better than this. This is, the quality level of this stuff is just nuts. Obviously this one's quite beaten up, quite a lot of dents and stuff, but that's relict. You know, it's like this is like, if this was a Gibson, it would have been £3,000 to start with, and then it would have, I don't know what, another £3,000 worth of chips and dents put in it to make it look natural. Which it's these are real chips and dents, bits missing. Well, that's the only bits missing. I was really quite annoyed. I'd never even noticed that until the other day. It's obviously someone's wanted the edge input jack. Why you would want that, I don't know. This in the front, fine for me. So I made you a video for this coming up soon, a bit more less. Oh, I've just got out and I've not done a video and I'm coming back. It's 4:30. I want to try it my new light, which is pretty good. My new light's actually got different settings on it. Actually, you can actually change it from white light to blue or sort of peachy. And also I can't even turn it in. You can turn it up like the sun, turn it down a bit. I need to have a wee mess about with it and see. Yeah, actually, I think it's better than what I had before anyway. Yeah, basically it's just a fluorescent light on the roof. Whereas this is a proper thing. Also even came with this, which is good. Came with its own lightweight mic standy type thing, which might be good for using when I'm trying to do, the video things. Actually having like something to stick the second camera on might be pretty good, rather than kind of having it wedged between things like a guitar neck. My current way of doing it is I've got like a piece of metal that I use for testing the straightness of guitar necks. I wedge it in below the record player and it kind of hovers about out here, whereas if I used that I could probably actually fix it. So rock on. I'll do a proper video tomorrow probably of the Ibanez bass, which I've not yet decided what I've not decided whether that's getting painted or not, the scratch plate, because the metal kind of looks quite good. The bridge is brass as well, so I think it might actually it might be quite a cool looking thing. Kind of don't want to spend too much time on it in case there's something wrong with the neck. I did play it for 10 minutes before I took it to bits, and it seemed to play pure amazing, but it was really dirty, so I've stripped the whole thing and cleaned it. Also, what was that? I've never heard of ZZ Top basses. Check this bass my pal got in a charity shop. A ZZ Top with this very interesting way of using a string tree. So I'm going to see if I can get this up and working. I'm assuming 90s. Don't know much about them, but look at the paint job. It's awesome. Kind of reminds me of my pal Bob's. He's got a Hondo Super Strat, which is just a rebadged Hondo. It very much could be, but what a paint job. I like it. Rock on.